Hello, everybody. As promised, it's 1 o'clock on Friday, so I am going live, and um, I had Daphne from our group. Hopefully, she'll jump on, but she asked a question about one of the posts that we did this week. But what's the difference between a value ladder and a value maze? And so I am going live today to talk through that for anyone else who has this question. Because it's a really important one as you're thinking about how to structure your business. So often when we create our business structure, when we think about, kind of the products and services that we offer, and especially when we're creating our online courses and how we're going to scale that, we tend to get a little distracted in terms of all of the things that we want to offer. And having a value ladder actually allows you to simplify your business significantly, because the fact is that I'm just going to check and make sure that I'm actually live out in the group. I don't see me. Does anyone else see me? Because I'm not seeing that I am live, but I suppose it will pop on. Oh, yep, now I see it. Okay, good. So here's the thing, is that most of the time we overcomplicate things. Here's the fact, is that people are willing to buy your core offer in lots of different ways, right? So they want to participate and learn and get results from you, and they are willing to do that in different methods, right? So a book, or a course, or coaching, or live events, right? So it all can be the same sort of core framework, but the way that people are interacting with you is just a little bit different. So I'm going to walk you through the value ladder, and then I'm going to talk about the difference between a value ladder and a value maze, because that comes up quite a bit. All right, so let me share my screen. I'm going to make sure that I have it. Whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. Hang on just a second before I share my screen. I need to share the right page. Let me get back to it. I just did a training this morning for Learn Academy, and I did a kind of like bridge, so I equated something to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So there you go. There's a curiosity factor for you, is if you're interested in figuring out how your business has things similar to peanut butter and jelly, then you know what? You got to jump into Learn Academy. You're missing out. All right. So this is the value ladder, and I want to just talk through this. So let me see if I can share and do this at the same time. Okay. So when you are looking at, I'm just going to close all of this so it's less distracting. When you are looking at your value ladder, this is what a value ladder looks like. So the ladder is this kind of thing that's happening here. And so what this is saying is, when you're planning out your products and services, when you're planning out kind of how you think about bringing people into your world and attracting them, whether they're a cold, hot, warm, or hot audience, you're going to increase the amount of value that you give them as they come in and ascend through your world. And because of that, you're going to be able to increase the price. So let me just map this out. So say somebody comes into your world and they are just getting to know you. You could bring them in with so something free, right? So maybe ebook, or a free plus shipping book offer, which just means that you're offering them the book and they just pay for the shipping, or some other type of sort of just entry level something that you have for them, right? A report or something else, right? So either free, or it's a very small dollar amount that gets them interested in what you have to offer. You're not working with them, you're not interacting with them. It's just something that they can see your framework, see how you're doing things, and get a little bit of value. Typically, this is the place where they give you their email address in exchange for whatever this is that you have a value. And or it could also be a self-liquidating offer, which just means that it's a low ticket, like a $27, $37 kind of thing, where it covers some of your ad costs if you're bringing them in. So that's the bottom of your value ladder. So price is low, value is perceived value is low. And then the next thing that you have is typically, again, where that low ticket, maybe it's a training or a workshop, or something that you can charge a little bit for, right? So again, getting into the $27 to maybe $70 kind of range in terms of what you are offering. And so again, this is something that you can do, you could package, you can scale, but it's still kind of, the value is lower and the price is lower. And then the next one gets into sort of your signature offer, right? So this is where we typically talk about positioning your signature online program, whether it's live or it's, automated, whatever that is. And typically that's, somewhere around $297 to $997 or $1997, somewhere in there. And so again, you're bringing people up your value ladder. You're bringing people up in terms of value, and then in terms of what you're going to charge. So then at the very top of your value ladder could be where you're doing like done for you, coaching, more of your high ticket options, right? This is the highest level of value that you can provide for them. So typically this is the highest level of value and highest price. So this is typically where you start showing up, and you're spending more time with them, right? So up until this point, your time is minimal in terms of where you're going. So again, your goal is to think about your business and how do you create this value ladder so you're bringing people in and then ascending them up to your highest ticket options. Then kind of along this road, you're looking at an additional option, which is typically around this kind of price point, which is kind of the subscription or continuity model, which just means that's I'm going to put subscription. That's where you're charging them monthly to for something, right? A membership program, some type of reoccurring offer or value that you're giving to them. So typically it fits there. Sometimes you can pop it up here, but typically this is sort of revenue month after month. And so it's more of a group model, more of a, you're sort of showing up in a way that is packaged, but then there's a little bit of touch point, right? So you're continuously adding value each month, and then people are paying over time. So this is what a traditional value ladder looks like for a business. And one of the things one of my coaches, Russell Brunson, says all the time is, this value ladder, focusing on one product within one business up until $1 million is possible because you're completely focused on how you're delivering value all the way through to ascend that customer up to that highest ticket offer that you have. So a lot of us, when we're starting in one-on-one services or done for you work, we just start with the very top of the value ladder and to start there, right? So we've missed all this opportunity here to really provide value for either our customers or for customers who aren't quite ready to pay that high ticket price. And so by doing this, it really gives you the opportunity to bring people in and turn them from cold to warm to hot, right? Is sort of how we look at this. So the concept of the value maze comes into play when you don't follow this model and you start creating, maybe you create like 4 signature programs, and they're all for different topics. Or you create multiple lead magnets and multiple things of value down here, and again, they're all different topics. So what starts to happen is people come into your world, and they don't, there's no clarity in terms of, well, how, what's their expertise, what do they actually do, how can I learn from them, how can I come into their world and continue to get results, how do I continue to build a deeper relationship with the material, with the person, with the business, right? And so often when I have people who come to me and we're talking about their expertise and how do they package it, is that they sort of they're starting with this mix of things. They're sort of throwing a bunch of stuff out there to see what sticks. And most often there's so many different topics and so many different things that it starts to look more like a maze where somebody's like trying to find their way around, and like, which one do I take, and what are you known for, and how do I keep going through your world, and so the business owner is confused, and so therefore the customer is going to be confused, and so when I start working with people, a lot of times this is where we start, is what's your core business, what's your core expertise, and how are you going to build just one value ladder that helps your customers have the clarity of where do they start and how do they continue to ascend. Because the reality is people will come in in all of these different methods, right? So somebody may just start with the signature online program, right? Like they may not get the free book or the free lead magnet. They may not go through the workshop. They may just go straight to the online program, or like I said, some people just go straight to high ticket, but then they're going to fill in as they go with all these other things, and the reality is that even if what you're teaching is the same all the way through, people will pay to learn it in different ways. And so from a clarity, a simplification, and an ease of building your business, having a value ladder helps you focus in on what's your core, how do you package it into something that gets your customers results and has that level of clarity where you're clear and they're clear. And that's where that value ladder really comes into play and really becomes important. And again, an example is, so a lot of times people will throw out in different groups, like, who's the expert at this, or who should I work with this particular topic. And what happens if you have a value maze is, like, you won't ever be recognized for that thing, because every time people see you, you're leading with something different. You have a new specialty, a new topic, a new expertise. And so the market gets confused and they don't know how to find you and what your actual specialty is. So you could have, within your signature online program, like you could have like an overall umbrella of, like, here's my specialty, here's what I'm an expert in, and then various topics underneath that supports that overall big picture. But again, what happens most often is people spend a lot of time just throwing stuff out there and to see what sticks. And again, then that's counterproductive, because it just confuses. It confuses your buyers. And so this is just a simple way to think about how do you build the programs, the offers that you have for your ideal customer, is really thinking about, like, they come in, your customer is sort of coming in, right? And they're like, how do I interact with them? How do I start going through what they have to offer to learn more about them, to learn to know, like, and trust you as the business owner, you as the the one who has these awesome products and services is that they come in and then each touch point brings them closer to building that strong relationship, which then turns people into raving fans, which turns them into your ambassadors who are out there referring other people to you. And so that's when this becomes super impactful, is having that clarity yourself and then being able to be clear for your customers. So there you go. There is a simple explanation for, do you have a value ladder or do you have a value maze? This is something that we focus on quite a bit in Learn Academy because we want to create that strong sense of clarity around our framework, which is really how we lead through each one of these. How do you know what to put in each one? How do you know that strong sort of thread that you have throughout your business? And that's really getting clear on how you uniquely show up and provide value for your ideal customers. All right, there you go. If you have questions once you watch this, throw those in the comments below, and hopefully we can have a lively conversation about this and how it works within your business. But I promise you, if you focus on kind of one core framework and different ways that you can deliver that to your audience, to your customers, the amount of clarity that you will have, especially when somebody comes into your world for the first time, will really help you start to build and scale your business. All right, there you go. There is my live for today. Let's see if I can go back to me. There we are. All right, everybody have a great afternoon. I would love to see your comments on this. What resonates with you? Examples of doing it really well, or do you have a bit of a value maze that you want to talk about? Share that as well. Would love to see how this is actually working in your businesses, because again, we spend a lot of time with this clarity building out that unique framework that you offer to your ideal people to get them results, and this is the first step to do that. So there you go. All right, well, Daphne, at least I'm going to tag you. I hope that this is valuable for you. Would love to hear your thoughts as well. All right, there you go. All right, all you course creators out there, get after it. Let's sell some courses.